Edo State House of Assembly don resume plenary on Monday, October 20, 2025 with plenty matters to handle. The sitting focused on important legislative work wey be request for project oversight, second reading of one healthcare reform bill and consideration of nominees for Edo State Judicial Service Commission. For the plenary, Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, announced say dem don receive 2 official letters from the Governor of Edo State, Senator Okpebholo. The first letter yarn say make the House do proper oversight on 2 big projects from the last administration wey be Museum of West Africa at MOWAA and the Raddison Blu Hotel project wey dey along Golf Course Road. The Speaker for im response come refer the matter to one ad hoc committee wey go dey set up to go check how far the projects don go, the money wey don enter and how e take benefit the state, and say the committee go then report back to the House. The second letter request say make the House confirm some nominees for the Edo State Judicial Service Commission. The nominees na Honorable Felix Imoisili Esquire, Razak Osayande Isenaluhe Esquire, Shaibu Elama Esquire as members, and Omozoge Martin Zigekbe as member secretary.
Messages from the government. So today we have 2 correspondents on the first lesson the government of Edo State for the House. Please let us hear this. First lecture, October 8, 2025, addressed to the Honorable Speaker, Edo State House of Assembly, titled Investigation on 2 critical projects in the state. At instance of the successful governor of Edo State, Senator Okpebholo, to request the House to carry out a thorough oversight investigation of 2 critical ongoing projects in the state initiated by the last administration. The Speaker will recall that at the inception of this administration, the government set up the Asset Verification Committee with a mandate to primarily assess, verify, and document the status of all Edo State government assets and liability as at 11 November 2024. Based on the report of the committee, government saw the need for the House of Assembly to investigate 2 critical projects which the state government is believed to have states in. The projects are 1, Raddison Blu Hotel, and 2, Museum of West Africa at MOWAA. Consequently, the House is requested to invite the respective contractors handling the projects and any other officers body connected with the project to ascertain their status and Edo State government stake in each of the projects. While looking forward to receiving a report in the form way we have, please accept the assurance of the warm regard of the Secretary Governor of the State, Sam Umar, Secretary of the State. Second letter, on the date of the 14th of October 2024, addressed the Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly, that to request for the confirmation of membership of the Edo State Judicial Service Commission. Direct and instance of the Secretary Governor of Edo State to Monday Okpebholo to forward for the constitution and confirmation by the House of Assembly the unlisted name as members of the Edo State Judicial Service Commission. 1. Honorable Felix Imoisili Esquire, member. 2. Razak Osayande Isenaluhe Esquire, member. 3. Shuck Esquire, member. 4. Omozoge Martin member as secretary. While looking forward to the expectations of confirmation of the information, please accept the assurances of the world regarding the Secretary of the Governor of Edo State. Sam Esquire, secretary to the
Distinguished member that the investigation is to projects. The members of those committee will be known tomorrow in these kind of channels. Second letter is a request for information of membership of the Lagos State Judicial Service Commission. Honorable Felix Moise Esquire is a member of the committee. Razak Osayade Siname Esquire is a big committee. Shuaibu Lama committee and Mozuke Martins Iyekwe. This letter is hereby referred to the committee on rules and business for them to be cross the T where necessary and cross the I's where necessary. Please return back to this house within 1 week.
Still for the sitting, the House also do the second reading of one bill wey go strengthen Edo State health system. Majority Leader Honorable Jonathan Iyama will lead the debate and come here and say the bill go help improve healthcare delivery, bring better regulation and create board of trustees wey go oversee how the policy go work.
Mr. Speaker, the bill in question is about control. We are trying to get a bill that will help us boost the shuck agenda of Mr. Gov. Mr. Speaker, we have a lot of private health institutions in this state that are not regulated. They do whatever they like. And repressing our people, the populace of this state, this state, so the intent of this bill, Mr. Speaker, is to see that we have a very strong control of all the private health institutions, so that they will be well regulated to see that, like I said earlier, the China agenda will be achieved, and good health provision for our people. Mr. Speaker, you will recall we had the case of a private health institution where the ball was HIV infested ball was transmitted into the body of the patient, and that was a bad news everywhere. It went viral. I think it's a situation that should not be allowed. With this big hospitals, experiment something we not have, or at least it will be brought to the rest. Mr. Speaker, we have a situation now where private practitioners, for instance, might want to say that the Ministry of Health will be left with the monitoring of all the private health institutions. But the truth is that they cannot effectively and efficiently do this. So we need an organ like this, I don't have to be able to carry out these activities closer and closer to all the health institutions, private health institutions, so that they will be well regulated. Best thing of this private practitioners, Mr. Speaker, we don't want to see a law like this. It's just like we have an NAFDAC. If all those are said drugs with that NAFDAC was come, they will put themselves together, put everything together to see that it is not allowed to see the light of day. Mr. Speaker, we need a court that will help us regulate all the parallels, especially the private ones now, so that the essence of ensuring that there is a health provision be achieved by the people. Mr. Speaker, you have a And some trees that are not supposed to be done in that kind of health situations are not there. And people die for some exercise because they are not well educated. I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, that all these are private institutions all over the place. Not up to 20% of them are monitored and regulated. So if we have an agency that is so directed, this mandate, that they have a duty to mandate and monitor all of our private institutions, I think it will save us a lot of good. There was a day I took somebody to the hospital. It was in 3 hours, a private hospital. That we will see on their billboard, they say they run 24-hour cells. So Speaker, this person was screaming and screaming in pain. Do you know that there was no doctor? I don't have to mention a name, but I will not be saying anti-marketing. But I think we can make them market themselves well if they are well regulated. So the essence of this bill, Mr. Speaker, is to see that there is not excessive control, so that government interference will be sought to beat them into line, so that they will do the right thing. In abroad, you have private institutions, but they are regulated. Everybody works according to the law. But the problem we have here is that everybody believes that I don't care. You want to go to the hospital, or you don't want to do the services that require an hospital. So I think if we have an agency like this, our private institutions will be well regulated. And at least this body also be an amendment to ensure that some persons are employed, will be employed to now do this job, and this job will be like a designated duty for them. So Mr. Speaker, I want to call on my dear colleagues to help us join the government to see that this bill is passed quickly, so that at the end of the day, while we are saying we are having good roads, we are having good schools, we can also be proud and health institutions in those states are such that are very regulated, and what they do there are the right things. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues.
Other lawmakers reason wella with am tok say government need to put strong regulation to make sure say hospitals dey accountable, patients dey safe, and healthcare workers dey follow proper ethics.
Distinguished honorable colleagues, Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to offer my full and unequivocal support to this bill, which is now at second reading, and to support the comments made earlier by the majority leader of this House. Mr. Speaker, whether you have universities, polytechnics, even private security outfits, and on a much larger and other scale, even private refineries, be they modular refineries or huge refineries like that owned by a large every single one of them is subject to regulation by government. The health care management industry, if I can call it industry, cannot by any stretch of the imagination be an exception. No responsible government would allow private health practitioners to set their own rules, set their own laws, set their own standards, and do whatever it is they seek to do without regulation by government. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this bill is timely. I fully adopt the submission of the majority leader as if they were my own, and I urge my colleagues to speak up in favor of the passage of this bill in the interest, overall best interest of the health of the people of the state. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I rise this morning to join my voice love to go to pharmacy shops, patent medicine shops, private hospitals. We're always in a hurry. We don't want to go to government hospitals. They will say, oh, they will waste our time there. So majority of our people go to private hospitals. And it is imperative for government to be involved in this process of standardization. Because this bill is going to talk about bringing best practices in our private hospitals. If you go to most orphanage homes, they set up an orphanage home. The next thing you see, they set up a maternity or a healthcare facility, which to my mind is a baby factory. These are all unconscionable practices. And some of the private hospitals, go to government hospitals. Government hospitals still have the best facility, best personnel. But when you go to some private hospitals, they just pick few equipment, and for ages they are sterilizing dwelling those equipment. So it is very imperative for this bill to be reviewed to comply with contemporary best practices and to arm the committee to be able to do very good job. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning through the complete weight of my constituency behind the passage of this law. I would draw Mr. Speaker's attention to a very recent example that calls for the urgency of passage for this law. There's a case a few weeks ago that was everywhere on our airwaves of a small child, less than 2 years old, that was transfused with blood that was not properly screened. The child was found not to be HIV positive before blood was transfused. After transfusion, the small baby who cannot yet pronounce his name became HIV positive. It happened in EDHA, it happened in a private hospital, and the Ministry of Health had to intervene between the parents and the hospital because there was almost a mob action. The second recent case happened in my constituency. I had over 10 letters and several calls. In fact, 2 traditional rulers called me pertaining to a particular private hospital in my constituency that feels that the solution to every problem that comes is surgery. In fact, out of every 5 cases that come there, they will send you for appendicitis, whether it is there or not. And once our people in the rural area hear that surgery is involved, whatever amount you call, they are willing to pay. Mr. Speaker, this law is timely. We need an agency, full-fledged, that will be empowered by law to go and do proper regulatory functions. Most of us know that once you are qualified as a doctor, you can render medical services. But to have a medical hospital, it goes beyond that. What are you accredited to give? Do you have facilities to diagnose? If you diagnose, do you have experts in different specialties? If you do not have, why not limit your registration or your medical services to areas where you are capable? This is what is obtainable check that, Mr. Speaker, I went to 4 different facilities. Because the man who has the license to do radiography, to scan and all of that, do not have the license to prescribe and to recommend what should be done. The man who is to conduct the surgery had to be brought to a place with facility, 4 different places, just to handle fracture, Mr. Speaker. Today, we are in a global village. This law should be supported by all of us for the health of our people. Historically, Edo has been setting example. We have a similar bill, 2019 National Assembly. I'm not sure if it became an act of the National Assembly, but Edo should be among the first states in Nigeria. Let us pass this law and let us follow up to ensure that it is implemented to the latter. Having supported this law, Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, to also call our Ministry of Health that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. As we are passing a law to regulate private health practitioners, the department in the ministry that is charged with the responsibility of also regulating public health facilities should double their efforts and ensure that even the hospitals owned by government, they should be properly regulated. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I think this law is timely. It is very, very apt. Like our majority leader said, even though the Ministry of Health was saddled with responsibility of regulating healthcare facilities in the state, it has become overwhelming for Ministry of Health alone to run such duties, because private health facilities, pharmacy, laboratories are springing up from every corner. Like the speed of the growth of bamboo shoots. Therefore, it has become very important, Mr. Speaker, that a body specifically enacted to regulate health facility in the state is very vital. It will help, Mr. Speaker, among so many other things, to prevent unethical practices among healthcare practitioners. Mr. Speaker, we have private facilities being manned by unqualified personnel. We have pharmacies treating patients behind the curtains in their stores. We have drug dispensers, they call chemist men, giving injections and even carrying out minor operations that is meant to be done in the hospitals. We have drug dispensers selling hard drugs to our children, tramadol, cough syrup, codeine, oxycodone. They sell to our children and destroy their lives. We have nurses, Mr. Speaker, manning and running hospitals without following the ethical practices. We have quacks who are not doctors on the streets carrying computers and telling you every disease in your body can be detected by that computer, and also that computer will recommend treatment for you. Mr. Speaker, this has increased infant mortality, maternal mortality, and even overburdened tertiary institutions like University of Benin Teaching Hospitals. By application, Mr. Speaker, before the patient finally gets to EDHA, specialized center, it's already too late. We have seen lives lost that are supposed not to be. Babies die in droves because of unethical practices. Mr. Speaker, this bill will ensure patients improve safety. It will ensure standardization, making sure the minimum requirement for standard practice is followed by healthcare establishments. Mr. Speaker, this will also help to to bring quality care for our patients. It will also help to protect the vulnerable populations. I think, Mr. Speaker, this bill is timely. We have had cases where some of our children with unwanted pregnancies approach drug stores, chemist shops, people who are not even educated, who didn't go to the 4 walls of university, talk less of practicing medicine, and now the ones helping people to get rid of unwanted pregnancy. Mr. Speaker, of course, the result is complication, death, infertility, and all what you have. In order to stop or to curtail these damages to our people and to our population, Mr. Speaker, this bill is timely, and I encourage all members to support this bill with all their hearts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
After the debate, the Speaker referred the bill go Committee on Health, made them do deeper check and bring report come back sharply.
As rightly said, Doctor, I think you should have to rise to the Committee on Health, Committee on Health. Because when you go to the hospitals, you marvel. Is this a hospital? Or where is this? You see patients lying down. Even the foam alone can even kill patients. The mattress, they are lying down. Please, once in a while, I want to appeal to the health committee to always go on the website for sure. Check these hospitals. You have the power to close the hospital. You have the power to check the hospital. Close the hospital. You are a doctor. You know, so we cannot go and train our people into death. So I want to appeal to you. Then for those who carry, what's it called? Prison of their head, you line up and go inside, wherever they call them. To start saying, you see mostly drivers, conductors, you don't call them, they will gather to them and be taking shots. First of all, you don't know the plants or the contents of that liquid you are taking. And how do you not even know the dosage? The dosage. I told you a friend that was trying to because got to Dhaka before he was around, he died. He was not sweating. He died. He died. From a book. And they also transcended, they even selling drugs to Mozambique. You also have the right to store it to say, come. Or you make a statement to stop them. So, thank you very much. Remember, you've dwelled very much on this bill. If you're in agreement that this bill should scale this second reading, we say aye. Those against it, ayes have it. This bill is hereby referred to the Health. Where they will cut it properly, from the scrutiny, dots the I's very necessary, and cross the T's very necessary. This report back to us. Please take capture of this bill as soon as possible.
The House come later adjourn City go Tuesday, October 21, 2025 for 10 o'clock for morning. Make una no forget say, as we see am, na so we dey talk am. We not dey take blame. Ekata Ojisili, TMC News.